Hello, all you gremlins and gremlets. Chainsaw Valkyrie here with another chapter of Tales from the Holler. This story is full of mischief and mayhem, so gather round and listen to the Twitches. Out in the forest near Razorback Holler, past the mud pits where the boars go to waller, and just a short distance before Goblin Lake, is a place that exists that the whole town forsakes. Just a small patch of land where the ground has gone sour. Not a single thing grows, not even a flower. The earth there was cursed by the Queen of the Witches. That place is the home of the foul evil Twitches. They live in a hole in the dark sour ground, and they wait for their one special day to come round. Every third year on the 5th of November, the witch calls them forth to kill and dismember. What is a twitch, I suppose you'll inquire, and why all the terror that they seem to inspire? Why do they live where the ground has gone sour, and rise up to kill at a predestined hour? Nobody knows but the Queen of the Witches, who conjured and called up these demons called Twitches. Here on the mountain a great fear encroaches, every third year when November approaches. On the 5th of that month, when the red sun is setting, all the folks on the mountain start praying and fretting. They lock up their windows, their doors, and their barns, and hope that the Twitches will do them no harm. They hide in their homes and they hold bated breath, while the creatures outside bring destruction and death. The Twitches are grotesque, they're foul and unsightly. They're all different shapes, with eyes that burn brightly. Some have a form like a snake mixed with cat, while others resemble a spider-legged rat. Some are like insects, or reptiles, or vermin, with sharp teeth and claws, or with tentacles squirming. One's like a frog with a human-shaped body. That's what I heard from the sweet Catherine Dottie. They come in all features, in all shapes and sizes, aberrant beasts full of mixed-up surprises, piggish and wolfish, with long dripping snouts, or 4 extra mouths with teeth that jut out. All of them small, no more than a foot. Some green and moldy, some covered in soot. Some carry forks like are used to dig taters. Some carry gigs and have heads like gators. One had a sword about the size of a pin that he used to slice open an old lady's shin. When the witch calls them up, they swarm out of the ground and bring murder and mayhem to all those around. Their black night it commences with a loud warbled cry, and once it is sounded, many will die. They squeal and they whine, they murmur and jabber, they cackle and laugh, these murderous stabbers. They tear up your gardens, they pillage your homes, they eat up your chickens and nibble their bones. They pour from the woods by dozens and dozens, they kill off our friends, our neighbors and cousins. Last time they killed my old friend Jason Keeler. They stripped off his flesh with an old tater peeler. And my cousin Rebecca, last name Bozabova, was eaten alive in her blue Chevy Nova. They chewed off her fingers, her ears, and her nose, and all of the flesh from her left baby toe. No one is safe on the mountain hereabouts. They'll break in your home and they'll drag you right out. They used a 4-wheeler to break down our door, and they smashed my poor cat on the old kitchen floor. Run for your lives, my dad was commanding, so we fled from our home with reckless abandon. A horde of the devils caught the Mayor Chris Holmes and beat him to death with a large garden gnome. Then one of the Twitches that looked like a lemur took a hacksaw and he cut through his femur, while another was scooping his eye from his socket, which he wore around his neck like a big gory locket. One of my neighbors, some Twitches were after, got run down and squished by a big garden tractor. Then an old homeless fellow, the town's local sot, was alive when they boiled him in a hog scalding pot. Then a boy named Luke Davis was beaten and throttled and forcibly fed an old dip-spitting bottle. They used a bear trap to catch a fellow named Shane. Then they cracked his head open and they scooped out his brain. Cousin Larry they cooked down at Henderson Farms. They had on his liver and his head and his arms. We fought for our lives with great desperation. My head was dripping wet with cold perspiration. Three little twitches cackled with glee as they used a drill press on a fat lady's knee. One gruesome twitch with a head like a lion bit out the throat of a feller named Brian. One of the beasties with a piggish-like face burnt down the store that belonged to Joe Pace. These gremlins were evil and mean, they were savage. They were happy to kill and to murder and ravage. They feasted on people, on cows and on chickens. On their blood-slicking fingers these goblins were licking. They killed an old man with some rusty hedge clippers. They hacked and they slashed him with the weed-cutting snippers. Next the dark imps murdered one Susie Miller. They mulched her to death with an old garden tiller. They found an old cow that was called Lullabelle, and they took an old lighter and they lit up her tail. All through the night this murderous troop roasted live people and boiled them as soup. Running amuck in their dark manic craze, these goblin-esque creatures set our cornfield ablaze. From dusk until dawn we fought for survival against the dark twitches and their evil revival. The twitches could only be free for one night, so till breaking of dawn we continued to fight. They had but one evening to kill and dismember. It came every third year on the 5th of November. For a short span of time they could kill with delight, from the setting of sun till the first morning light. With the first light of dawn the twitches abated, and went back to their hole in the ground that they hated, where the ground had gone sour, and nothing did grow, where not even the wind would visit or blow. Those who had managed to live through the night will never forget the sad grisly sight of the bodies and blood of our community brothers, the pieces of fathers and sisters and mothers. The slaughter was wholesale and stretched county-wide. By the time morning came, 80 people had died. And those of us left on this dark, bloody ground live here in dread when autumn comes round. So listen, my friends, and always remember that every third year in the month of November, and the 5th of the month, prepare for a fight, 'cause it's sure to be coming, another Twitch night. Thank you for listening. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. Stay creepy.